Hi, I'm Lita Leapins.
And I'm Jim Gordon.
And welcome to another edition of Our City Tonight.
Well, folks, if you're wondering where we are not in our Hubcast, usual Hubcast studios. We're actually in the new satellite, kind of smaller Hubcast studio in downtown, obviously. You see behind us. We're at Mahoney False Creek, a great restaurant and bar.
And they have so many great patios, and you can see that awesome view. Definitely come down and check it out.
But right now, check out Our City Tonight.
Somehow it's hoping when words are spoken, this could be the one.
She is an acclaimed Canadian Juno-nominated jazz vocalist and recording artist. She has performed throughout Canada and the U.S. for concert societies and jazz festivals. She works as a composer, arranger, musical educator, concert producer, and is the artistic director of the Joys of Jazz concert series here in Vancouver. We should also mention, nominated 3 times for the Canadian Jazz Vocalist of the Year at the National Jazz Awards, and she is a West Coast Music Award nominee. Hey, she's also a good friend, and we're big fans. It's great to have another great jazz singer on our show. Welcome, Karen Plato.
Thank you very much for having me on the show, both of you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. We miss you dearly. Let's jump right in. Karen, tell us a little bit about your early career in jazz. Well, your roots is a good thing, as well as your favorite jazz moment. We'd love to hear that.
Okay, well, musical roots on the prairies. I'm a farmer's daughter, so musical roots, singing to the gophers while helping my dad on the fields, I guess. That would be the beginning of my musical adventures. And then after moving to Vancouver in 1985, after already getting a music degree, musical life took on a whole other realm, shall we say.
Hey, and you mentioned Farmer's Daughter. I called you that once in an article lovingly, and that was, I think, the last time we had basically all the great female jazz singers in the city all together in one room for an article for a long gone magazine. But it was great to have all of you in the same room to share stories. It's interesting, too, though, and we've talked to a number of people in this town about how venues are fewer far between than they were 20 years ago. But you continue to reinvent and pivot and alter. I know since the moment Lita and I have known you 20 years ago, you were teaching. You love to pass that on. Talk a bit about your passion for passing on to that next generation.
Well, I love that notion, and it's not even just the next generation, because in my life as a teacher, my oldest student is 83 years old, and my youngest student is 6 years old, and I have vocalists and pianists. And yes, I do feel like it's something that I can share and maybe try to help someone maintain their excitement about the possibility and pleasure of music. So that's my role, for sure.
Yeah, and Karen, I love to say that you say that you're a late bloomer, so I guess even 83 learning a new skill is exciting, definitely, for sure. Now, your Joy of Jazz concerts, you've been involved in charitable concerts for a long time. Can you share a little bit about that, the past, as well as what's going to be happening in the future?
Sure. Well, the biggest one, I suppose, would be the Strong Women, Strong Music concerts that have been going on for many, many years, and that's for Atira. And due to the pandemic, we did not have that for 2 years now, because we decided virtually it wouldn't quite be the same as cramming a bunch of people into a jazz club, which is what we've done for 3 nights in a row. And we'll do that again next year. We're hoping for that. And other charitable causes. This past year, the pandemic, I was the producer of a Canadian concert for Food Banks Canada with 24 Canadian jazz artists, and it was really quite something. It was wonderful.
Hey, let's talk a bit about a good friend of all of ours. An interview with you would be incomplete without talking about a woman that blazed a trail for people like yourself, and that's Lorraine Foster, who I understand has a new album coming out, which is just music, pardon the pun, to my ears.
That's right, Lorraine Foster, one of my best girlfriends, and we are longing to be together. We like rendezvousing at Cardero's, and we're hoping that will happen soon. But these days it's FaceTime and phone calls and waiting for some safety so we can be together face to face.
And Karen, I'm just going to tell our audience they definitely need to check out your newest album on vinyl that you pressed it on vinyl, as well as available on CDs. As it's called "This Could Be the One." It's my go-to. You know, seriously, I do work to it. It jazzes me up. I just love it. It's an absolute gem.
Yeah, and we should say, hey, and well, thank you for being here. And also to our viewers, if you have not seen this woman in concert, when concerts get back, we know they will, go check her out. You will not be disappointed. As a matter of fact, I think the Edmonton Journal said Plato's confident, tuneful, and hip articulation stands out as she weaves a musical spell. Well, that's
I'm
a
a
good note to go out on.
spellbinder.
Hey, thank you, KP. We appreciate you joining us on the show.
Thanks so much.
This could be the one.
She is a nutritional therapy practitioner and an AIP certified coach. She is the author of the brand new book, The Autoimmune Protocol Reintroduction Cookbook. It is a great pleasure to welcome Kate J. Hello, Kate. Welcome to Our City Tonight.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
It is our pleasure. Now, I'm going to jump into our first question. What is a nutritional therapy practitioner? What do they do, Kate?
So it's a nutritional therapy practitioner, also NTP. So what I do is I help people to address their health by using diet and lifestyle. So I look for nutritional imbalances in the body, and then I will help them to overcome them, bring balance back to the body using food and lifestyle. It's very powerful.
Kate, I'm going to, as I always like to do, a one-up Lita. My next question is going to be a two-part question. First of all, tell us what autoimmune disease is, and tell us who's going to benefit. Talk about AIP, because I don't know what that is until I meet you. So, two-parter, take it from there.
Yeah, sure. Well, autoimmune diseases occur when the body mistakenly turns and targets its own healthy cells and tissues instead. So that can happen to anybody. You're more likely to have an autoimmune disease if you have a family history, but it's not necessarily so. The risk of having an autoimmune disease is 25% if you have a family history, but 75% of that factor is actually dietary, lifestyle, and environmental issues. And as somebody who's going to really benefit from the autoimmune protocol, or AIP as it's known, is somebody who has chronic illness, chronic inflammatory symptoms, and principally autoimmune disease. That's what it's actually been developed for.
And it's interesting, Kate, a lot of people don't really know that they're experiencing, they think, I'm tired all the time, I'm always bloated, that sort of thing. So nutrition has become a way of tackling your health. Over the last 10 years, it's become very predominant, and it's thrilling to have a specialty like this. Now, can you tell us a little bit about why did you write the book?
I wrote the book because it's an amazing protocol. The AIP is something that I did myself back in 2014. I had elevated blood work for rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune condition that attacks the joints. And by following the AIP, I had amazing success. And so I started blogging recipes to help other people doing it. And then, there are plenty of books out there now. It's a growing protocol. It really is gathering such a lot of the momentum that there are books now available for people doing the AIP elimination phase, but nothing out there for those doing the reintroduction. And so I seized this opportunity. I was actually approached by a publisher asking if I'd like to do it. And, I realized that the majority of my clients that come to me come because they're concerned about the reintroduction phase and they want help navigating it. So, yeah, I decided this book was needed and I wanted to bring it out.
Kate, I have to ask, as people go through the three phases that you mentioned, what, in your experience, what do people most look forward to eating again? I gotta ask.
No, that's really quite easy because it's quite a strict elimination phase. We're taking all those foods out that are stressing the gut, they're ramping up inflammation, or they're known to be linked to do that with people with autoimmune disease. So the foods that people really, really crave are coffee, and chocolate, because they're both seeds, and seeds are eliminated from the elimination phase. And I would say probably tomatoes and maybe cheese as well.
Wow, that's
That's interesting.
that's good. Yeah. Hey, and you got a question about recipes?
Yeah, I'm just going to say, if you can just tell us a couple of your favorite recipes real quick as we wind up here.
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite recipe, I think, is a condiment. It's a brown sauce that is found. It's very British. That's if you go to a British home and you see egg and chips on the menu, you are definitely going to see a bottle of brown sauce on the table. So that's amazing. It's a really healthy version. And my husband's, I would say, is sticky toffee pudding, another British recipe, which is so delicious. It's not a British cookbook, I will tell you that, but it's something that's really, really good, and it's a healthy version.
Hey, Kate, it's been great talking to you. Of course, we'll have all Kate's information in the closing credits, her website. She's quite active on social media. The new book is the Autoimmune Protocol Reintroduction Cookbook. Kate, it is available now, of course, in stores, but you can also order it online, as most people do nowadays. Kate J., thank you for joining us on Our City Tonight.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Great to have Kate on. Lita, other good news for our viewers. They could win a copy of her book, The Autoimmune Protocol Reintroduction Cookbook. How can people win?
They can win by direct messaging us on our Instagram at Our City Tonight or our Facebook page, and just simply ask, I would like to win the Autoimmune Cookbook.
There you go. Good luck to you, our viewers.
This Inside Business segment is brought to you by Atrium Health Inc., the home of Hamilton High Street residents, offering independent and assisted senior living services with all the amenities.
Well, we now find ourselves, Lita, just outside of the brand new Hamilton High Street residence.
This is a great new facility, and there's so much to see, so let's just go inside.
Well, I find myself in the lounge area here at Hamilton High Street Residence. I'm joined by Rob Howard. Rob, let's talk a bit about some of the appeals of this wonderful place, and I think a great place to start is location.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. We picked the location carefully. We are the geographical center of the Lower Mainland here, the heart of the Lower Mainland. We are a convenient 20-minute drive for over 750,000 people, so it makes it easy for friends and family to come and visit, and really improves the quality of life for the residents here. As soon as you step outside the building, you're in the community. Just steps out our back door, and you are at the plaza of the new and invigorated Hamilton Village Shopping District. Pharmacy, doctor, grocer, pizza shop, all of life's necessities.
Let's talk about the amenities here. Let's start with something you guys are calling memory care. Can you explain that to our viewers, and then kind of bullet point after that other amenities you have here?
You betcha. So our memory care neighborhood is quite special. It's boutique memory care. Advanced dementia and Alzheimer's patients will receive very high-level specialized care. On top of that, we have independent living and assisted living in the building.
Right.
So you can move in independently, and as your healthcare needs change, you can purchase a la carte services to help you stay in place. We have also across the street a long-term care facility, which means that we have a real campus of care here. And what's really important about that is families don't have to worry about splitting up their parents.
Right.
Couples can live in the immediate vicinity, if not in the same building, across the street from each other, and still have a high quality of lifestyle.
That is a concern. You're right on that. That people don't want to be separated and may be hesitant to look into something like this because they don't want to be apart. Great amenities as well in terms of activities. I'm walking down your hallway seeing a bunch of things, including a great little salon and barbershop.
We do a lot of thought and care into what's in the building. We have a full theater, a barbershop, a salon. We have a bistro. We have a health center with 3 different water pools in it. We have a dining room, a family dining room. We have a billiards area, multi-purpose room, lots of things to do in the building to keep people active and healthy, and also lots of different little areas, patios and places in the bistro even for people to just be private and get away from things.
Yeah, lots of space, lots of light. Okay, Rob, thanks for joining us on this. We'll have, of course, all the credits and info at the end of the show. Speaking of amenities and food, I think that's where I'll find Lita Leapins. What a shock. Lita, where are you right now?
Well, Jim, we're over here at one of the many dining options here at Hamilton High Street Residence. We are in Cranberry's dining room, joined by Executive Chef Dax. Dax, you are a Red Seal certified chef as well, but you certainly love to have fun. I hear that you entertain the residents with live cooking shows, and there is a full kitchen in the activities room to be able to do this. Now, it sounds like a lot of fun. Good food is also really key to living well. Look at this incredible food in front of us.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the flexible dining and the many dining options that are offered here.
So we have Cranberry Bistro, which is our restaurant, and we'll be serving main course, a 3-course meal, and then we have the Wizard's Bistro, where we will do a amuse-bouche, a small one type, desserts, appetizers, flatbreads, and then antipasto platters, which people like to can order that and then share in the warm sun.
Wonderful. And there's options to also dine al fresco on their private balconies. Just a lot of great options here. Now, you have the My Time dining model that was fashioned after the luxury cruise line. So people can eat on their own time, basically. Describe a little bit about how well that works here.
Absolutely. So the flexible dining is the core for our residence property here, because we want people to come and enjoy food at their own leisure rather than being constricted on a timeline though. So with that, we will have great food, 3-course meals for breakfast, lunch and dinner, and then also in the bistro we'll have small one-bite desserts, appetizers, and they can also relish our antipasto charcuterie board.
It's just a beautiful board, and you roasted the little tomatoes yourself, and you get herbs from your own garden. It is absolutely deluxe. Describe that dish in front of you. That is one of your keys.
So here I have Italian herb risotto, along with Swiss chard and blistered tomatoes from our herb garden, and then we have a Dijon and herb crusted chicken with heirloom carrots and heirloom beets.
And you're very conscientious of allergies as well for your residents. Describe your program working with your dietitian.
So I closely work with the dietitian. We will build a resident profile where we will take care of all their allergies, and I know for a good health and well-being, allergies are very important in this day, and we will me and my team will make sure that we will have the best food available for them, rather than not having them not to take away anything from their allergies though.
Perfect. So great food, and with all allergies taken into account. Well, thank you so much. This is beautiful gourmet food. Very lucky residents here. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Back here to wrap things up, joined by Paul Tam, who's been on our show before. Paul, let's talk a bit about the vision and the concept. You were here at the beginning. Talk a bit about how senior care living has changed over the last couple of decades and last couple of generations.
Actually, I can tell you or share with you about my vision and also my feeling about towards how I experience. And for a generation in our culture, or even in Canada, I see that there used to be family living together. And their children were taking care of them, their grandchildren were taking care of them in that sense. As you can see, after the city had been developed and also the world had changed quite a bit, and the way they live, the way how they make a living or caring is also changed quite a bit. Especially right now, I don't think the senior is not as needed as the care that much. They're actually very physical capable to do a lot of things. But they all worries about after what happened. So I think my concept is, how can I provide a service or a concept that will be able to not just comfort to the senior, but also to their family members. And then in that way, they will feel very comfortable and confident that the facility will be able to provide the service they need for their loved one.
It's very true. And just before we wrap up, there's just so many more things that you offer here that, again, 30, 40 years ago wouldn't have been offered.
Yeah, I would say it's quite different.
Yeah.
I would like to treat it as, if I live here, what do I like to be? And then what do I feel like I want to be treated? I think that's the most important thing. If I can live here, I would rather put my beloved one to live here. I'm confident that majority of the people, I'm pretty picky, so I think majority of the people will be able to feel that and enjoy their life.
A great way to go out. Paul, thank you, and thanks for having us here today. Another Inside Business segment on Our City Tonight.
This Inside Business segment was brought to you by Atrium Health Inc., offering a new concept of independent and assisted senior living services with all the amenities.
Maybe there's a way to fall gracefully, and maybe there's a place that's safe for me.
He's a Grammy and Juno Award-winning singer, songwriter, producer. He has worked with artists all over the world, toured with just as many. You, like Lee tonight, you will probably remember his big band in the 90s called Bass is Bass. Great hits from them. You're looking at his new single called Golden. He's in Vancouver. It's a great pleasure to welcome Chin and Jetty to Our City Tonight. Chin, welcome.
Hi, guys.
Hey, now Chin, you released 6 new singles over the past year and a half, but we're going to chat a bit about Golden. Tell us a little bit about what inspired this song and, well, the challenges over the past year and a half that we've all gone through.
Well, I think what inspired this, well, I know what inspired the song was this last year, being in isolation, talking to my friends who are in the, you know, are in the arts sector, if you will, just all of us going through depression, letting our inner demons, you know, speak a little louder than they should. And I just wanted to send a message to myself mostly, and to anyone else that was listening, that a lot of this is in our head and that there is a better place for us. So that's where it's coming from.
And Chin, can you talk a bit about your early beginnings as an artist? Lena and I always like to ask actors, writers, musicians about early inspirations. I know as a child you suffer from polio. I loved your line that I heard you recently say, which was disability never affected you as much as people that would see you. Talk a bit about your challenges, but also what inspired you as a singer-songwriter?
What inspired me was my father, my family, my community. There's always music in the house, music at church, music at school, music on weekends. So the culture of music, which is my community, is what inspired me.
And, you know, Chin, your production work has garnered you 3 Grammy Awards, of course, you know that, from rap to gospel. Can you talk a little bit about the diversity in your work?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so fortunate that I was able to contribute to these incredible records that you know, they won Grammys. And I grew up in a city that's a real amalgam of culture and art. So naturally, I know a little bit about everything, and I love everything. So a lot of it has to do with from where I grew up.
Hey, Chin, talk a bit about, you've been in the business a long time. Talk a bit about how the business itself has changed. Again, I think about you when I first heard you and your trio, Bass is Bass, great hits. You're a young guy, then you're all kind of kids when you look at the videos. Talk a bit about what you've learned and how the business has changed over the last 25 years.
What I've learned is that there is no real business of music. There's an infrastructure in place that allows people to create, and there's platforms in place that allow you to put music out there, but you have total autonomy to make your own business decisions and be who you want to be. So the independent artist has a lot more freedom to do whatever they want. And I always encourage people to, you know, follow their hearts. So wherever that leads them, you know, is what I've learned, is to follow your instincts and know that there's a lot of different things that you can do.
Now, as the world opens up a bit more, what are your plans moving forward?
My plans are to keep creating music. That's it. I create every day. It's my peace of mind. It's how I make a living. It's also what connects me spiritually to God. It's through music.
I tell you, not to embarrass you, all modesty aside, but just looking at some of the groups you've toured with, worked with, it really is incredible, and everybody learns from everybody when something like this is happening. Can you also, just before we go, can you talk a bit about, are there possibly getting back out on the road and live music? Do you see that coming your way over the next year?
Not for me right away. I could see it coming back. People are talking like it's going to happen this summer, and I think it will to a small degree. But I think we have to rethink things and figure it all out. You know, it's one of those we have to wait and see kind of deals. But you know, things seem to be changing for the better now.
Definitely.
Hey, that's great. Hey, Chin, congrats on the new single and all the work you have done. We have both been fans for, I don't want to say a lot of decades because it makes all of us old, but the fact that you are doing great work all these decades later says a lot. So we thank you for that. Congrats on the new single. We'll have all Chin and Jetty's information in our closing credits. Chin, take care. Great to see you, and glad you're in Vancouver.
Okay, take care.
Cheers.
See you later.
Well, we're back here at Mahoney in Falls Creek, and it's time to say goodbye. But before we do, we certainly invite you to watch our next episode, which will be celebrating our 100th episode. 6 years on air, Jim.
I'm sorry about all this. 6 years with me. Yes, that's coming up, as Lita mentioned, in our next episode. All past episodes, by the way, on our YouTube channel. Hey, we've never done this before, but before we leave, we'd like you to take a few seconds and watch our closing credits. We hope you always do, but especially this time. We've got a song called So Late in the Game by a local singer-songwriter named Tyler Bonham Carter. We hope you enjoy it, and we thank you for watching Our City Tonight.
Take a seat, boy, that's an act you'll never follow. I never knew that I could lose you so late in the game. Just when you think you're rising up to the test, well, the rules of love, they get changed, I guess. I'm still just a beginner, man. She came out the winner when she said one deep out into right, that's a big swing. Turn on it sweet, now you can kiss that one tomorrow. I never knew that I could lose you so late in the game. She took that long look at me, and when she saw that ring, that's when I knew that love is just something that we borrow. I never knew that I could lose you so late in the game. She took one deep out